What's fucking good, boys? Welcome to a new trade recap. First W on the channel. Let's fucking get it. We're fucking recording. Let's go. So, jumping. Oh, fuck. Why is this not synced, bro? Jumping into the day. PNL ski first thing. Hopefully, this shit loads. Y'all be able to see what's up. Hope y'all had a great week. By the way, this week has been pretty fucking decent for me at least. As you can see, 2-0 on the week. Now, why is there no trade on Wednesday? I have one account on Tradeify. Tradeify was down, and I was supposed to take a winning fucking trade on Wednesday, which is a shame. Otherwise, I would have been 3-0 on the week. It is what it is. Shit happens. Now, as y'all can see, I want to go over the trade on Thursday as well, just a little bit. I took this trade originally planning on doing 500 risk, but for some reason, something I need to figure out when I'm trading on TradingView, the risk and whatever is not really going accordingly. So I risked $366 apparently, and I made 1R approximately. As you can see, bit of a bad fail, but it was supposed to be 500. That's why it's not 500. Trade of today, $462. Pretty decent. So this is basically like a 1K week. Only some things I need to fix in terms of fills. So now y'all know what's going on right over there. Jumping into today, you can see I took longs, and I believe if I scroll somewhere down here, this was the trade on Thursday. I'll just go over this really quickly. I basically forgot what the fuck kind of trade this was. 2-minute inverse. I can see bouncing off something else. 2-minute inverse, boom, pretty fucking easy TP. Targeting this fax. I was targeting a 1-to-1, but I need to target this 5 minutes. Something I need to work on. I journaled. Please fucking journal. That will make your life a lot easier. So, coming into today, somewhere around here, we can see we had a couple moves up the day before, chopping around a bit in this range, and right before market open, I'm already way too far ahead of myself here. It's a bit of a chaotic one. Going back to 9:30. Let's see. Okay, so coming into 9:30, I had a couple PD rays marked out. Always starting on an hourly time frame, see what's up, and trying to get some trade ideas going in my mind. All right, so first thing that I notice is all the way in the back here, there's a big hourly gap along with this liquidity right over here. So potentially we can see a boom up down movement, but from market open is quite far away, so there's something we need to reach all the way to and then come all the way back down. So that's why we also were looking down here for potential longs with this hourly gap right about here. Now this hourly gap, it is an hourly gap, but you can see we filled it all the way right over here, so that's why it's not relevant for me anymore. In comparison to this 15-minute fair value gap, I'm capping so hard. In comparison to all these 15-minute fair value gaps, which are all filled as well. So this all makes no sense for me to do anything with. So yes, you are correct if you're telling me there's 15-minute fair value gap over here, which is correct. And we also bounced off of this. So this is something we can work with, and a couple of 15 minutes right about here. But these are pretty small and insignificant. I'm just going to see what price does. I didn't mark these out right at market open. So this 15 minutes I had marked out since we bounced off this very nicely right before 9:30. So that made sense for me. Now this is a small 5-minute gap, and I'll get into that. So coming into market open, I didn't have this mark out. I'll remove it, and I'll remove this as well. So coming into market open, we were gonna see what's gonna happen. So I was just waiting, and boom, we tap the 15-minute gap we earlier marked out over here. This 15-minute fair value gap that we earlier also bounced off of, and we could see some type of move up. So this was something I was basically looking for. But my rules state that I don't take 9:30 manipulation legs. So that's something that me personally, I've backtested this myself and kind of built my own model. Obviously, you want to kind of build your own model, but this is something I just cannot get right or seem to understand, or it doesn't work for me at least. I've tested it and I don't feel comfortable with taking trades that are manipulating a 930 candle and then immediately shooting up. There's a lot of volatility, and more often than not, I just get fucking wrecked on these kind of trades. So I just simply don't take them. I just wait. So arguably, yes, move down, move up, take a fucking trade immediately. But I don't like taking a trade really early into market open. And as you can see, we also are we respecting this 2 minute gap? We are respecting this 2 minute gap. You can see there's a 2 minute gap. I wanted to wait for price to inverse this. If hypothetically speaking, I was even looking for a trade, but I wasn't. But as you can see, better safe than sorry. Instead of you coming into market open, tapping a 50-minute gap, sweeping some 9 o'clock, whatever, liquidity, and getting the first and the best opportunity to long right at this fucking 1 minute for value gap, you would either need a crazy little fucking scalp, but otherwise you're just gonna get wrecked right off market open. And maybe if you're a better mechanical trader than me, you wouldn't take this, but this is the exact reason I don't take 930 trades. And sometimes this shoots up, you miss a trade, it's whatever. Next opportunity will present itself. In my experience, more often than not, I'll just get wrecked. Exactly like this. So that's why I stick to my rules and I don't jump right into a trade. I wait for my model to show itself to me. So then what happens? After 930 manipulation leg, we get a couple moves up. And now on this leg down, I can potentially take a trade since this isn't a 930 manipulation leg anymore. So that's just something that my model states. Now, if we go a little bit further into market open, you can see market is chopping around, filling orders in this 15-minute range. But what happens? As you can see, we inverse this 15-minute fair value gap. I actually need to come back down to here. You can see we inverse this 15-minute fair value gap. That makes this gap not valid anymore since we filled it entirely and also disrespected this. So now people could be saying, hey bro, this is looking perfect for shorts. Like if you could have gone entry somewhere in here and took shorts, great. Because if we go right about here, we can see this is London low. Now with this structure in price having 15-minute bearish structure, you see there's a break of structure right on this candle before market opens. You can see 15-minute structure is bearish. We are disrespecting bullish gaps, as you can see, and respecting bearish gaps, just like this one. It wouldn't be a bad idea to take a trade towards this London low. So that's exactly what I was seeing. I was seeing, hey, price probably wants to move lower. We are very, very close to this London low. So what am I going to do? In order for me to take a trade, price needs to tap a higher time frame PD array or point of interest for myself. And that would be a for value gap in my situation. So I'm looking here to the left of this London low to see if this London low is in some sort of a for value gap or an imbalance. So this range in generally is pretty imbalanced. As you can see, it's quite a fast move up, but there's no hourly gap. Since this one is already filled completely, so I cannot take this. 15-minute works the same way. Now, normally I wouldn't be looking for little 5-minute gaps all the way to the left side, like in all these legs, to see if I can catch some type of reversal or move, except for if it's a major liquidity pool, because it's likely for price to move up after sweeping some sort of liquidity. So in this case, I can kind of look whether I can take a trade off of this. I would never take a trade off a major liquidity pool if there's no fair value gap to the left of us. But in this case, I saw a little 5-minute fair value gap right about here that we bounced off of earlier, and arguably it's filled completely. Technically speaking, it's not filled completely, so this is something very technical. I mean, yeah, you could argue with me, hey, this isn't valid since it's filled completely. Look, this is something I find pretty difficult. Same thing goes with inverse fair value gaps. Like if price doesn't inverse the gap, but it closes like a tick below the gap, if that makes any sense, then technically it isn't an inverse, but people would still call it an inverse or even take it just for the sake of it's so close, it will probably do whatever. So mechanically, and I'm very mechanical because then I just want to be certain about a couple things, and maybe sometimes it ends up failing, sometimes it ends up winning, but in my model, I always do it very mechanically. So if I can see here, hey, look, this leg didn't fully um, balance out this 5 minute gap, then it's still valid in my book. Even saying that, there's still a little 5 minute gap over here, which technically also works. And same goes for this 5 minute gap over here that we also technically didn't fill completely, along with the fact that it's a big move up. So this is probably still an imbalance in price. So with all that in mind, there's a whole bunch of PD arrays and stuff going on around this area that I could see price potentially move up higher off of. So that's basically, if you remove all this, that's basically what my thought process was, right? So that's why I took this 5 minute gap. Now we can see price clearly sweeping London low, filling orders, blah, 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 chopping, and then moving up higher. So now this is my manipulation leg, this leg right about here, all the way to this downside. This is my manipulation leg into my PD rate, also sweeping some sort of liquidity. And I want to see an inversion to the upside to take a trade. Now, this is all pretty shitty fucking price action, so I wasn't too in a rush to jump into a trade, since I was also watching this 4 minute gap, which is a relatively higher time frame to catch an inverse off of. I saw a couple videos online, which, by the way, if you actually believe or see or believe everything you see online in terms of Instagram reels and stuff like that, bro, you're absolutely cooked. Don't believe everything you see. I saw a whole bunch of people saying, this is such bad fucking trade. Why are you taking the 4 minute? Oh my god. You're absolutely cooked. It doesn't even matter, bro. It's whatever your model states, and just take it. That's my advice I can give to you. Don't fucking worry about what anybody else has to say on the internet. It's not valid. So I was just waiting for this 4 minute very patiently. And eventually, boom, we inversed it. So because this is pretty choppy price action, like for example, on this 4 minute, we failed to inverse it 1, 2, 3 candles. We even had a big move up and then pretty big move down again. So I wasn't too certain about taking a trade here. I was just waiting patiently. But then when a candle like this, massive fucking candle, blows through this gap, closes all the way up here, I just have to take it, whether I want to take it or not, because it's my model. So I took it, and it's as simple as that. So it's a big fucking move. Arguably, this is a bad trade. You can say whatever you want. It's a massive trade, 265 points, which is a lot. Even for my model, this is the biggest trade in terms of points move I've ever taken, I believe, like in real life and in backtesting. So this is a pretty, like, I wouldn't say unique, but a pretty weird trade for me as well. And that's also why it lasted a pretty long while to hit TP. Because I entered here, no break even, since we already ran through the manipulation leg. I took it, and I had my target at a 1-to-1. Yes, I could have had my targets a little bit higher all the way at this liquidity pool, but I want to go for the low-hanging fruit. 1-to-1, it's a big fucking move. Otherwise, targets would have been 350 points. That's absolutely insane. So 1-to-1, that's the, I guess, tiniest trade I would take. The tiniest one, even though it's still fucking massive. And that's what I went with. So I'm just going to play it out. Eventually, we hit TP. Bit of a roller coaster of emotions, and fucking topped take this trade. But yeah, we were chopping in here, coming down, and then moving up again. I don't know what the fuck all this was. I was in the gym here, didn't really pay attention. And eventually we hit TP, which is great, and that's all that matters. And that was my trade for today. I assume I could have taken like a way, quote unquote, better trade, probably off of this 15 minutes, some type of continuation, like a nice manipulation leg. Like, well, you could have sniped something here, 1 minute all the way up. So again, arguably, maybe not the best trade ever, but it is what it is. It's my model, so I took it, and that's exactly what I'm here, what I'm showing to you guys. I'm showing you my model, what I'm thinking, and how I'm going about taking a trade. So I'm very technical, and that's something, yeah, the longer you'll watch my videos, or maybe in a year's time when I'm fucking successful, I'll still be as technical, or maybe not. But just to remove all kind of self-doubt and thinking like, oh my god, did I do this right? Did I do this wrong? I just want to be as technical as possible. If price isn't in for something, or if price doesn't fill something completely, it's still valid in my book, and that just keeps it simple for me and for my mindset to stay in line. So, with that being said, that is the trade of today, and that's how I went about things. Yesterday, I didn't upload the trade recap since my fucking computer is tweaking all the time, and hopefully this is working somewhat okay. Turns out, I don't know, my computer is way too fucking soft and trash to handle recording. So I'll be upgrading anytime soon to something different when I get some fucking payouts, which are on the way. So, or they aren't really on the way, but they're coming for sure, for sure, for sure. So with this trade, we're back in the fucking game. I started, just a little backstory, probably doesn't really matter too much. But just a little backstory. When I started trading somewhere like a long time ago here in May, so last month, why is this so gay? Last month was pretty decent. Well, not pretty decent. Fucked up a couple times here. Something I'm improving on, but I actually passed my account right on this trade. I need to do a consistency rule and some just need to make a little bit more. So I passed it here. And then I went on a losing streak, 1, 2, and 3 trades right on the funded. So that's where I passed. And I took 3 losses straight away. So I was kind of fucking it up a little bit. But now we're actually back on break even on the funded account. So now I need to pass a couple more trades, take a couple more wins, and then I'll be able to take some payouts. So that's what it's looking like, ladies and gents. Thank y'all for tuning in. Really long video, 15 minutes. My dog's fucking tweaking. And I'll catch y'all next week. On to the next week. This week, World Cup. Go watch the fucking World Cup. Curacao represent all day. You already know. Sakaba. Catch y'all on the next one.